Hello, everybody. It is the Dennis and Andy Show with your movie review for the week. Dennis is back. It's been a couple weeks, but here we are. And this week, it is Bad Boys Ride or Die, the fourth
Yeah,
installment in the Bad Boys franchise that started way back in 1995, where my wife and I saw it when we were just still dating. That is how old this movie is.
yeah. I'm going to be honest. I was not overly looking forward to this movie. I thought it would be fine. The whole controversy with Will Smith really took a lot of the wind out of the sails for me. But let's just say the premise is when the former captain, Captain Howard, is implicated in corruption. The two Miami police officers, the bad boys, have to work to clear his name. I will say this out of the gate: the chemistry between Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, they still got it.
Oh my
I'm
God.
very glad to see that. Mike Lowry, Marcus Burnett back together again. They're getting older, and this movie takes that into consideration and adjusts it with some younger talent that comes walking in as their sons.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, dude, I echo that. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, those two guys were born to be in buddy cop movies like this. Hell, those two could do a buddy comedy of some sort, playing, just whatever. Um, Great chemistry. The thing, I was like you, I was looking forward to it probably a little more than you, but I wasn't like, oh my God, this is a must see. In other words, if it's they put it out at a good week where there wasn't really any competition. And since we try to see a movie a week, we didn't have to flip flop like, oh, should we see this or should we see
Right,
this?
right.
Um, yeah, their ex-captain who, if you saw the third one, this is not a spoiler, got killed, uh, is basically being framed for taking money from cartels and stuff. And Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are like, no way, our old cap isn't going to get besmirched that way. So they have to go and figure out who's behind it. They bring back the actor that played Will Smith's son in the third one. That was the basic story of that one. And it was great. It was a great mix of action, a great mix of comedy that you expect. And the biggest thing that anybody going to see a movie these days thinks is, oh my God, this is a great franchise. Please don't ruin it with agenda driven woke garbage. And the great news is they didn't.
Yeah.
This has the same feel as the third one, the second one, the first one. It is just, I told Dennis after, I said, this is like Top Gun Maverick, as in you just leave it all at the door and you're just into escapism without anything getting slapped in your face,
Yep. It,
messaging wise.
we get the return of our favorites. Joe Pantoliano comes back as obviously flashbacks or little messages as their captain, which is great. We always liked him. Rhea Seehorn comes back as Judy. Love her as an actress. I thought it was great. The main bad guy, the antagonist in this, Eric Dane, plays McGrath. I actually thought he was great. I
Dude,
loved what he did.
he was fantastic. Somebody in the comments, or maybe after I say this, you'll prove me wrong. I don't remember Eric Dane playing villains. That's not what I think of when I think of Eric Dane.
No,
Once
I think yeah, you're right.
okay. I mean, honestly, the last thing I think of with him is I believe he was on Grey's Anatomy for a while. Um, and yeah, he always plays the hunky, good-looking. I'm a not even a hero. I'm just the average, ordinary type. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
dude.
He put
So
on
he
villain
was
chops for this and
awesome.
nailed it. Nailed
Yeah,
it.
he was freaking awesome. His
Yeah.
henchmen were good. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Yeah. The only thing we don't usually talk anything about the movies beforehand, but we did say the one thing, you guys have heard us talk about tropes for these kind of movies. And they got our old buddy, Mr. Fantastic, Ian Grufford, as the mayor. And we were like, oh, we'll save that for the spoiler section.
Right.
But
We were like, wait a second. He's the mayor. That's
yeah,
weird casting. But
yeah,
the thing about him, I knew he was in it going into the movie, but if I didn't, I think it would have been one of those instances where I was like, he looks so familiar because I still had until this movie, I still thought Mr. Fantastic. And that's like what, 20 years ago?
yeah, 20 some, and he has aged, and I will say aged gracefully. He looked really good.
He aged, it's in Miami, so maybe he decided to get a tan. He's gained a little of that middle-aged weight, but not in a bad way. And he's got some scruff to him. Yeah, he's aged well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
strong performances throughout.
I know he's roughly our age and stuff, but again, the guy who plays Jacob Scipio is the one who plays or Scipio plays Armando, which is his son, and he was just as good as he was in the last movie. He's got a great presence to it. Every single person that they brought into this, the two police partners that play Jordan and Kelly, they were fun. They were energetic. The casting was just dead on for this. And if we move to the plot a little bit, this is where the movie falls apart a little bit. And all I can say is don't think too much about this. It's fun. It's a 90s action film. And yes,
Right.
it's today, but it's the entire formula is the 90s, which made them successful. They nail it on it. Their plot holes and things like that. And you're just like, but don't look into it because this is a purely fun movie.
Yeah, and Jerry Bruckheimer was a producer on it, so it had all the stuff you expect, explosion wise and car stuff and gunplay. Some great camera movement in this with the way the technology's boosted up so much recently. Yeah, it was great. Let's do our old CGC review there.
Yeah, and that way we can talk spoilers. You get to go first.
Oh, do I now?
You do.
I gotta admit, man, I really, really enjoyed the crap out of it. I'm going with the 8.5 on it. Uh,
Ooh.
8.5 out of 10. It blew away my expectations. It really felt like they did it. You know what? It felt these movies are so cohesive in regards to the look and everything. It almost feels like they put them out 2 years apart. You'd have no idea that honestly the first one was 1995, and then the one before this wasn't that long ago. It was like 2020, 2019, something like that. So it's not like that was that long ago, but still,
Yeah.
as 4 movies spaced out over almost 30 years from the first one, really good.
Yeah. Wow. You like it a little bit better than me. I did enjoy it far more than I was anticipating. I'm giving this one an 8.0. I thought it was great. It far exceeded my expectations, and it was one of the humor landed when it needed to a lot of the time. The action landed when it needed to. So I mean, it hit on a lot of cylinders, and yeah, I would highly recommend this one as a fun movie, particularly if you watched anything else in the franchise. And they do a great job of going back and explaining things if you didn't see them all. So they did a nice job with that.
Oh yeah.
IMDb, they are giving it a 6.8, a little bit lower than I was kind of expecting, honestly. And the one Rotten Tomatoes, the critics are giving it a 67, and the audience is giving it a 98.
Look at that. Well, the critics would have given it a higher score. It did come out in June. If only there was that magical gay couple in it. And maybe if the gay couple was, mixed race and stuff, and they had a kid that was non-binary, boom, that critics would have loved it. So There
All
you
right,
go.
let's talk spoilers.
Spoilers. That means, guys, if you don't want to hear any spoilers about this movie, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. And now we're going to talk spoilers. Hello. You can kick it off because here's the thing, guys. There's not a ton because this movie is pretty much A to Z. And yeah, I mean, okay, I'll start actually
Oh, okay.
because this is probably the only one I can think of.
So when you say you need to start, that means you actually have to stop talking.
Right. Shut up. I'll start. It's the only one I can think of that's major. Mr. Fantastic,
Yes.
there, Ian Grofert, whatever his name is. He's the mayor. He shows up on screen. We're like, my first thought didn't even nudge Dennis. My first thought, as soon as he showed up, I knew he was in the movie. He's not even the mayor. He's running to be the mayor. So it's one of those situations. If he was already the mayor, I might not have caught it. But when it was he's running to be the mayor, oh yeah, he's the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and when they introduced them, and and they're at the wedding, and they're like, "Oh, look, a power couple," and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, we already. It's always one of those tropes, and we've heard us talk about this. When you bring in now, there are a lot of nice named actors in this, so you can't say he's the only one, which is what normally triggers it.
No.
But when you bringing him in just for this particular role, it all kind of gets.
Here's the thing I'll say, though, that they could have really swerved you twice if he wasn't the bad guy. Because Eric Dane, and this is just me, Eric Dane in the hierarchy of actors is higher up than that guy, right? Mr. Fantastic is, since I can't pronounce his name, he's higher up. So when they introduced him as the bad guy, you could almost go, okay, he's just the guy running to be mayor, because unlike Matthew Lillard in Five Nights at Freddy's, where you go, oh, this is a throwaway role. Why is he playing it? You're like, oh, he's the bad guy. I'm not knocking Mr. Fantastic by saying this, but he is at that level where he could have just been the dude running for mayor, and that's it.
Yeah, I was almost kind of hoping that was going to be the case.
Yeah.
But like I said, there are not a lot of gripes. It really was great to see. Like I said, with Captain Howard coming back, I thought it was great to see Captain Howard. So, overall, the two sons and were great. Some feedback.
Sorry. No, I don't know what it was. Well, you had Will Smith's son from the third movie. Will Smith in the third movie found out he had a son, blah, blah, blah. It's a great one too. Go watch it. He was great. And then you're talking about the son-in-law, right? Martin Lawrence's.
Yeah,
Martin Lawrence
was
just to clarify, his daughter's married to a guy who's a Marine. And, this isn't even a spoiler. It was in the trailer. Martin Lawrence is like, what are you doing? You need to get a job, because he's just sitting on the couch eating snacks, watching TV. And it was great. The son-in-law goes, I'm a Marine. Well, you need to deploy. I just got back from blah, blah, blah. Well, you need to go back, And then, okay, so this is a spoiler. Since we're doing a spoiler section, there was a scene in the movie where Eric Dane's bad guys, henchmen, are going to go to Martin Lawrence's house, and they're like, we just need one or two hostages. And through technology, the Ring camera, there's no way Martin Lawrence and Will Smith can get there fast enough, but they can communicate through cell phones and see what's going on in Martin's house. So they call up, the son-in-law answers, and Martin's like, you got to get everybody out of there. People are coming, blah, blah, blah. So he shuffles his wife and his mother-in-law, Martin's wife, into a closet. And then this dude, because he's a Marine, just takes down like 15 guys. And they did it really well. So don't think, oh my God, 1 against 15. What bullshit. No. They did it really, really well. And the best part about it Well, there was multiple things. The action was great. The choreography was great. Humor wise, it was great because Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are watching this guy in action, and they have this newfound respect for him as he's taking guys out. He's like, oh, whoa.
Yeah,
So
it was great. And Martin Lawrence is like, that's my boy. That's
yeah,
my boy. Because Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, they put on some weight, they're getting older, they can't do all the stuff that they did when they were younger. So they let the two sons really pick up the bulk of the heavy lifting for the gunfighting, the knife play stuff, which I thought was brilliant because you still get the chemistry of Will and Martin with the interaction with their young, energetic, highly qualified sons, and the chemistry just worked on all levels.
it did. It did. I don't know. To me, that's all spoiler stuff I want to talk about. Did you have more?
No, I think that's good enough. I think if you guys enjoy the franchise, definitely go out and watch it. It is a fun movie that is a 90s action packed, worth seeing. Should like just about everybody in the movie, so give it a shot.
It's worth it in the theater, and also worth it for you guys is Kor-Drath: The Awakening. That's right. The saga of Kor-Drath and Adriana continue in the new book, Kor-Drath: The Awakening, by myself and Dennis there. 64-page graphic novel. Kor-Drath and Adriana continue their fight against the evils of Vordoom to save their land, the Shattered Reach. Guys, we've got 5 different covers to choose from. We've got the preview pages up so you can check it out, see what we're going to be bringing you guys, which you're going to love. And we've got a new game module Dennis wrote. So if you like the first one, you're definitely going to love this one. You can use the playable character cards from the first campaign with this game module too, of course. And we are at 47,000 and change, getting to the stretch goal. The first one, 50,000 bucks, 7x10 playable character card of Vordoom. Art on the front by myself and Dan Lawless, and Dennis kicked ass with his stats on the back. Make a great addition to the 4 playable characters from the first campaign and the map. And of course, everybody gets it once we hit 50,000 bucks. So definitely check that out. Dennis, do you happen to have the collector box nearby or no?
I do.
Let's see that. Oh, Dennis, you're on the spot. It's QVC. Sell us on that collector's box.
It is, guys. If you got the first set, and when you're picking up this set, this collector's box allows you to you lift it up and look what's inside. You get the box. All the books will fit, even if you pick up the big collector set. You can collect all of your books, put them in the Kor-Drath box, and then slide it nicely right onto your shelf. You can see the Astonishing Comics logo, Kor-Drath. And whenever you want to read Kor-Drath, you can just pull it out, and all your goodies are right in the box. Great way to collect everything. Great way to ship them.
That's right. And it does ship. It ships inside another box. So this box isn't going to have a label on it or any of that. It'll be in its own box with bubble wrap around it and stuff.
That's right.
So check that out. And then check out also on checkout, role-playing game. You're like, man, I need a Kor-Drath miniature. You mean, oh, I thought I hit it. Let me do it again. Oh, it's not going to my solo layout. It's not, wait. There it is. Oh, look at that. 5-inch. This is the 5-inch size. We also have a 2-inch version and a 3-inch. Beautiful Kor-Drath miniature here. Very detailed, even to the scars on his back from when he fought a bear. You're like, what's that about? Well, if you didn't read The Reckoning, it looks like you should. So you can add that on at checkout. So lots of great stuff. Come on. Oh, Dennis, exit my solo layout on your side, would you? Thanks. For some reason, it wasn't working. So, guys, go check it out. Link is in the description below. If you've already backed it, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Appreciate the support. And go check it out. And there you go, guys. Thank you for this review. Next week, we have the DNA show at 5 p.m. on Wednesday because Mark Polton is our special guest.
Yay,
And so
Mark.
is Edwin Acevedo. Two guys, one show. Good times.
Great time. That's right.
And next week is Heroes Con. So come on down to Charlotte, North Carolina, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and see Dennis and I and a host of others at Heroes Con. There you go. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch you guys later.
Live long and prosper.
Oh, yeah. Have a great weekend.